Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee for those of you that are new here, and this is the third video in my 30-day series on how to become wise and raising your self-esteem. I love a good challenge, so this is my third video. Woo woo! Hit that notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a like if you enjoyed the concept that we're going to be talking about today, which is creating a plan for your own life. I'm going to share some advice that I got from my previous mentor that is one of those things that's just so hauntingly true and unavoidable, even though sometimes it's really daunting to face this kind of thing head on and to take this much accountability and responsibility for yourself and for your life and where you're going. But if you don't do it, then you're going to face the consequences, and it's something that you should do, especially yeah. And if you like this video and you want to see my other works, I have an inner work journal linked in the description below if you are interested in doing your inner work through journaling, which is something that I really recommend. It's called Wisdom in Dark Paradise. It's a 5-day program to help you reflect on your own inner wisdom, which is also the theme of this 30-day series. So, onto the video. I got this advice from a previous mentor of mine, and it always stuck with me because it's so true. And if you're not careful, you'll fall into situations that you don't want to be a part of, where your life kind of just spirals out of control because you didn't have any kind of intentionality. And the quote that she said was that if you don't make a plan for your own life, you're going to become a part of somebody else's plan. And boy, oh boy, is that true. So that's kind of just so profound to me, because if you ever really just want to get to a place where you're feeling centered and you're feeling really good about your life and where it's going, and you're trying to figure it out, at least, I feel like it's a common experience that when we think, if you're not happy, right, and you really assess your current situation, a lot of it comes down to just a lack of intentionality and going with the flow, which inevitably just causes you to kind of fall into other people's patterns, habits, and plans for you. And this, especially a good example of this is in the terms of relationships, right? So speaking from a female perspective, this is kind of what I see, and my previous experience is if you don't really have a plan for why you're dating or what you're looking for or what makes you happy in a relationship, what your needs are, if you're not super clear on what those things are for yourself, good luck, because how is somebody else supposed to know that? You'll kind of just accept whatever you're given, and if you end up unhappy, that's nobody else's fault but your own, because you weren't clear from the beginning with yourself, first and foremost, of what you were looking for, what you want, what your plan is for dating. I do think it's good to have a plan. Even if your plan is just want to have fun and get to know new people, that's still a plan. And if you're more on the and vice versa, if you're more somebody looking for a long-term relationship, if you want marriage, if you want that kind of happy ending, then you have to have a plan for how you're going to get there. You can't just expect people to give it to you, or for people to just for people to know that without being clear on that yourself. And the good news is that once you're clear about your own plan for your life, then inevitably it translates to other people, because actions speak louder than words, and you only accept from that point on what's a part of your plan. I have a similar video on this actually called Follow Your Plans, Not Your Mood, but I do think relationships is a good example. I'll leave that video in the links below or on the screen. But yeah, so that's a good example of if you don't have a plan for your life, you'll become a part of somebody else's plan. That can play out in dating, can play out in relationships, and if you don't have a plan for your career, right? Then you just kind of end up working all these random jobs without clear direction on where you want to go. And if you're not happy or fulfilled with your work, then, ultimately that responsibility is on you, because you didn't have any intentionality on mapping out your career, because nobody else is going to do that for you. And, I feel from my own perspective, I feel like sometimes as women, we try to put that responsibility on other people. And, for example, we think we'll just meet a guy and we won't have to worry about our career anymore because he'll take care of us. And there's some truth in that. Like, if you're looking for that kind of relationship, it definitely exists. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's really not smart to put all of your like aspirations on one person for them to make all of that come true for you. Like, there's something to be said about setting yourself up for success and, having some kind of plan of how you're going to get to where you want to go. And you should never depend on one person or one thing. It doesn't have to be a person, on one thing to give that to you. So, for example, if you want to grow in your career, if you see yourself working in a certain place in like 5, and like however, give yourself X amount of time. Say you want to be at X salary at X amount of time from now. Say I want to make like, you know, yeah, say that's your scenario. If you don't have a plan, and like if you don't stick to your plan of getting there, if you don't keep that goal on the top of your mind every single day, then you can fall victim to staying in a place where you're not getting closer to your goal. Maybe you don't have that drive to go for that next promotion or to aspire for a higher paying position because you don't have a plan for your career overall. Even just having a vague plan is better than not having a plan at all. Even if you just know the field you want to be in, if it's not about the money for you, maybe it's just about the fulfillment of working in a place that you're interested in. If you don't have that vague plan, like, you're not working toward anything, like, you will feel stagnant and you will be unhappy. So I just think there's something to be said about having a plan for your own life, because if not, you'll fall into other people's plans. Because at the end of the day, you are the person that has the most responsibility and authority over your life. And if you're not where you want to be, the first step is to just accept that and see what you can do differently so that you can get to where you want to be. Like, there are steps that you can take to get closer to where you want to be in life. Best believe. So another example, and I'll leave you guys with this one, is how I created and I feel like this is a useful skill to know just in life, because it's just so relevant and it's going to come up over and over again, like, no matter what phase of life you're in. So it's really useful to learn this. But I'll use an example from my past where I was working a minimum wage job. I was a lifeguard for many, many years. And at one point was like, I'm not happy doing this. Like, I know I'm capable of doing more. I wanted a very specific kind of job, and I just set a plan. Like, I just made a plan. So obviously the first step is to leave that job. Next step is to apply for that job. And I did whatever I had to do. I lowered my expenses. I moved back with family. I stepped backward for a moment to like really make a plan and intentionally search for a certain kind of job, create a portfolio where that job needed, I had to make a plan. I had to like really create a strategy and then work toward that every day to get to where I wanted to be. And guess what? I got that job eventually, and the consequences of having that plan was A, I got that job, B, I was able to move to where I wanted to live. And that's it's a good feeling to strive for something and then have it happen, even if it takes work. Newsflash, like, things take work, things take time, and things take strategy, and nobody else can think for you, not ChatGPT. Like, you have to have your own brain still. These things are tools. Other people can give you their advice, yeah, but at the end of the day, you're the one that has to create a plan for your life, because only you know what you want. And they say that when you're asking too many people what you should do, that means, you're not connected to yourself. And one thing I've learned is that the more input you get from other people, the more advice, like, the more confused you become. And it's better to just become clear on what you want, even if it takes a while to figure out. Sometimes it's okay to accept that you don't know what you want. You don't know what you want to do. Like, you don't know where you want to be. Take some time to think about it. That's the first step. Even that is better than just sitting back and letting things pass you by, letting years go by. Time goes by like this. Like, you want to live a happy, fulfilled life, you have to take accountability, create a strategy, and create a plan, or suffer the consequence and go along with other people's plans for you. And you can never really be guaranteed that those plans are for your better interest. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave me a like, leave me a comment on what you thought about this topic, and cheers to 3 days of the 30-day challenge on how to become wise. and raise your self-esteem. I'm sharing all of my, I think, most important lessons that I've learned in the past few years of doing my own inner work. So if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to work with me one-on-one for mentality coaching, DM me the word star on Instagram to learn more about this. And yeah, have a great day. See you tomorrow.